Previously on Theater of the Phantom.
Sixx and his mother ended up getting into an argument over the loss of his father and ends up cutting his arm open with a switchblade in an attempt to get his mother arrested. This leads to a big brawl between the band and the crowd.
Hell yeah, it's gonna go down like this, dude. Let's kick some fucking ass.
Ozzy is introduced at a public pool at a hotel immediately by showing his ass directly at the camera. After one more jab at Tommy's mother, Tommy strikes Roxy in the face as the rest of the crew watch in shock. We move into Redondo Beach, December 8th, 1984, weirdly specific date. The scene takes place at a crew house party where Tom Zutaut makes a very insensitive joke.
Hey, are you in the band?
What do you fucking say?
Have you met my wife, Charisse? Do you wanna have a threesome?
She's fucking pregnant, man. That's fucked up. Nah, I'm just fucking with you. Man. But don't be a fucking dick.
This shows that Vince and his wife Charisse are parents. Vince runs out of the party with Razzle following behind him to go get more drinks for the party. Then a pretty blonde standing on a balcony catches Tommy's attention. Tommy grabs a drink and goes up to introduce himself. Lee states that he recognizes her from the TV show The Fall Guy. Unbeknownst to him that he's talking to the wrong person.
I know you from TV.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Yeah, The Fall Guy, I love that show.
That's not me. The Fall Guy's Heather Thomas. I'm Heather Locklear.
This encounter shows that this is the first time she and Tommy have ever met, but that isn't true. Lee had originally met Heather at an REO Speedwagon concert. After the show, Lee had been informed that his accountant's brother was Heather's dentist. Her dentist gave Lee the number, and Lee called up Heather and asked her out on a date. In Tommy's autobiography, Tommyland, he states, "As I'm trying to make this thing work, I'm watching TV and see her, and of course use it as another way in. Oh shit, check it out, I say. I'm watching you on TV right now." There's silence for a minute, and Heather says, "No, Tommy, that's not me. That's the other Heather. It was Heather Thomas." While Razzle and Vince were leaving the store, they proceed to have a very questionable conversation.
Who would you rather fuck? Cindy Lauper or Boy George?
How about neither?
Nah, man, you gotta pick one, alright? You got a gun to your head, fuck one or die, which one's gonna be?
No, you know what? I'm having trouble accepting this premise. Yeah, like, under what circumstances would I find myself in such a situation?
It's a mystery, you cockney fuck.
In the midst of this conversation, a drunk Vince Neil loses control of his car and crashes into an oncoming vehicle. The two riders in the other car were severely injured and suffered brain damage. As for Razzle, he was found dead on Neil's lap. Razzle was killed on impact. Neil was charged with vehicular manslaughter and driving under the influence. He was sentenced to 30 days in jail and 5 years of probation and was required to pay $2.6 million in restitution. Neil had only served 15 days out of his 30-day sentence for good behavior. After this moment, Nikki reveals that he had a newfound addiction to heroin. This is untrue. Sixx had begun using heroin during the production of Shout at the Devil. This scene moves into an entirely drunk Motley Crue in the studio, excluding Vince. Tommy is then seen playing the piano intro to Home Sweet Home. Vince walks in, being the only sober one in the band, and Nikki hands him the lyrics to Home Sweet Home.
I made a couple of adjustments, but I think you may like them.
Home sweet home.
It's been too long, buddy.
Nikki offers a bump of what Neil believes is cocaine. Vince accepts and ends up vomiting in a trash can. When asked what he had just ingested, Nikki tells him that it was heroin.
The fuck was that?
That was smack.
An enraged Neil proceeds to storm out of the studio, with Nikki showing no regret. Nikki's mother then proceeds to leave him numerous messages, Nikki too high to care.
You must have gotten the selfish gene from your father. This is very selfish, what you're doing. I just miss you. Frankie, talk to me, please.
They then begin the production of the stage for Theater of Pain. When discussing the album with Vince, Doc reveals that he got a tattoo of Motley Crue's album Entertainment or Death, only to be informed that,
You know, Nikki changed the title to Theater of Pain last night, right? Of course he did.
this is only slightly true. This event did take place, only it was Doug Thaler who got the tattoo instead of Doc. The crew also ended up using the name Entertainment or Death as a name for their 1999 live album.
Theater of Pain.
This cuts into the crew on a jet, and Tommy reveals that he and Heather are getting married.
We're making it official, and I officially want to make you my best man.
This is all true, but we'll get into this at another point in the video. What ensues next is just a montage, so we'll be skipping over that. The only notable things here are Spinning Cage drum solo and...
Hey, Tom! Hey, what up, man?
Once the montage ends, Nikki Sixx wakes up to Doc knocking on his door, telling Nikki that he has a visitor. Nikki makes his way down to the lobby, where he's greeted by his mother. Doc had thought it would be a good idea to bring Nikki's mother down for the holidays, and Nikki does not take it lightly.
Oh, that song. The one about looks that kill? It's about me, isn't it, Frankie? Frankie?
That's not my fucking name! I thought it would help. I fucking trusted you, but you are not my fucking father, and you are not my fucking friend.
He smashes a bottle of Jack on the lobby floor and fires Doc completely.
So just fuck off, Doc. You're fucking fired.
This never actually happened. In reality, Nikki had been informed by his half-sister that his mother had been committed to a mental institution in Seattle. Nikki had decided to take a plane to Seattle to visit his mother in the institution. Sixx claims, "When I walked in, I hardly recognized her. Those 6 years had not been good to her. Once, she'd had it all. Looks, talent, and wit. But now she looks more like Ozzy than my mother. I ran up to her and stopped short of hugging her. She fixed me with her eyes, and the first thing that came out of her mouth was, 'Did you write that song about me?' 'What song?' I asked, confused. 'Looks that kill.' It's at this moment that Nikki had started taking a flight back to LA. Doc McGee was obviously not fired for this reason, as it never happened. McGee had been fired due to an altercation with Tommy, due to Bon Jovi being granted the use of pyrotechnics during a show, and Motley Crue not being allowed to. Lee said that after the altercation, the band all decided to fire Doc. After shooting up the entire world's supply of heroin, Nikki and the rest of the crew get ready for Tommy and Heather's wedding. Nikki is seen stumbling everywhere, completely shit-faced at the wedding. Tommy gets pissed and decides to choose another best man for the wedding. Vince passes and Mick agrees to be the best man instead.
Should I get someone else to stand up there with me or what?
Now look at me, man. I'll do it, drummer.
Nikki ends up being the best man anyways in this situation.
Well, I've already got the fucking rings. Let's just go.
This is all true and was confirmed by Sixx.
It is false. I was not sober at Tommy and Heather's wedding.
This leads to Sixx walking into a hotel room at the Franklin Plaza Hotel on December 23rd, 1987, with... Holy shit, is that Slash? Nikki's dealer offers Nikki heroin, and the moment he injects it, he falls to the floor. It's at this moment that Nikki was brought into an ambulance and was officially pronounced dead. Holy shit! Turns out Nikki was actually dead, but for like 2 minutes. The ambulance ended up hitting him with 2 shots of adrenaline and he was brought back to life. Guns N' Roses drummer Steven Adler had something different to say about it though. Adler claims that he, along with Slash, were at the party, and he was the one who saved Nikki's life. Adler, who apparently had a broken hand at the time, said that he had dragged Nikki into the shower and poured cold water on him, and started slapping him across the face with his casted hand. And then the purple in his face magically disappeared, and the paramedics came in and started pumping his chest in the living room. Whether this story was right or wrong, I'm sure everyone can collectively agree that regardless of the story, it was a good thing that Nikki survived to tell the story. After this moment, Nikki decided that it was time for him to leave this addiction behind and to completely sober himself. After one more shot. And then Nikki Sixx would make a decision that would change his life forever.
Motley Crue was going to rehab.
After the crew got out of rehab, they hopped back into the studio to record their album Dr. Feelgood. Dr. Feelgood ended up giving Motley Crue their first #1 album, and that spawned a 10-month promotional tour.
I forget what happened. It's all a blur, but with Dr. Feelgood, we got our first #1 album. Yeah, I think we played something like 1 billion shows for 1 billion people in 1 billion cities all over the world.
Things started going downhill when Tommy started drinking again due to him worrying about Heather.
Guys, I fucked up. Heather's being all weird and distant, and I drank. I mean, well, a little. I had 1 shot, and I'm sorry.
And Vince not being informed about the new tour dates. After the tour, Vince comes back to find out that his wife Charisse had moved out and taken his daughter Skylar with her. The band repeatedly tries getting a hold of Vince with no success. And Tommy ends up pitching a new idea for the band.
I'm just saying, bands replace the frontman and it still works, okay? Van Halen...
I know Van Halen fucking did it because you say that every single time Vince misses a fucking rehearsal.
As a last resort, Nikki sends Vince a message through his fax machine. Through the pouring rain, Vince finally gives in and enters the studio where he finds the band working without him. Vince and the rest of the band end up getting into an argument, prompting Vince to get fired and quit at the same time.
You know, I'm done. Fuck this, I quit.
Good, cause you're fucking fired!
I quit already, dick.
This cuts into an interview with the band with new Motley Crue singer John Corabi, played by famous music YouTuber Anthony Vincent. The film depicts post-Motley Crue Vince as someone who always spends his time drinking at a bar and not doing anything with his life. The film neglected to show the fact that Neil had actually created 2 solo albums before rejoining Motley Crue. Vince gets a phone call and rushes into the hospital to find Charisse crying and his daughter in a hospital bed. After what was thought to be a simple sickness, Charisse explains that Skylar had a tumor in her stomach and that she had cancer. Neil then has to explain to his daughter that she has to stay in the hospital in order for her to get better. The next clip shows a crowd full of people who want Vince back, and obviously aren't fans of John Corabi. Backstage, Sixx tells Tom Zutaut, who in reality hadn't been working with Elektra anymore, that he wanted the rights to Motley Crue's music.
You're never gonna live up to this deal, you know that, right?
Then how about you give us back the rights to our music and we'll call it even?
What are you even asking? You want me to give you back your music instead of the money we owe you? The Beatles don't even own the rights to their own fucking music.
Well, the Beatles should own the rights to their own fucking music. And so should Motley Crue.
This next clip cycles through many different scenes. Most importantly, one of Tommy's wife, Heather, kicking Tommy out of the house when she finds out that Tommy had been cheating on her with a porn star.
What the fuck? I want you out! Have a great life with your porno slut.
The next scene shows Tom and Sixx at a table, with Zutaut telling him that he officially owns the rights to Motley Crue's music.
The label's fed up with you. They're dropping you. You convinced them to give you back the rights to your music, so you own it all now.
In reality, in no way was it this easy. It wasn't until the release of their 1997 Vince Neil return album Generation Swine that they would get the rights to their music back. By this point in time, Zutaut had already left Elektra for Geffen Records. Zutaut tells Sixx that they had a good run, but he preferred the band with Vince.
We had a pretty good ride, though, right?
Yeah, we had a good ride. I liked it better with Vince, though.
This scene cuts to Vince and Charisse at Skylar's hospital bed, with Skylar officially being pronounced dead. This moves on to Sixx finding out that he has a half-brother, and that his dad died on Christmas Day of 1978, due to a heart attack.
So this is him.
Yep. That's my dad. Well, our dad. Crazy. Nikki, Sixx, and I have the same dad. He had a heart attack on Christmas Day.
This prompts Nikki to apologize to Tommy about him being shit-faced at the wedding, only to find out that he and Heather got divorced. Lee and Sixx end up picking Mick up from the hospital, where he had just gotten a hip replacement. This is not true. Mick had not gotten his hip replacement surgery up until late 2004. Once they get Mick back, they came together at a bar to convince Vince to come back into the band. This didn't actually happen. The Crue reluctantly decided to give Neil a shot after their manager pushed them to do it. They ended up meeting in a hotel room surrounded by lawyers, and Neil agreed to check out Motley's new material. And Corabi was later dropped from the band with Vince coming back. With Vince finally back in the band, the movie ends with the Crue hitting the stage again. The last scene shows the Crue playing their last show on New Year's Eve of 2015. The Crue announced their return in 2019, with them playing their first show in 2022 with Def Leppard, Poison, and Joan Jett. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe as it would help a lot, especially since I worked very hard on this video. Thank you so much for watching to the end, and I'll see you all later.